So here we are discussing the future. The topic is fashion schools and Italian fashion graduates. I'm with Carlo Capasa, who's president of the National Chamber of Italian Fashion. Welcome, Carlo.
Very nice to be with you today, Alan.
And also hello to Donato Medici, who's president of the Piattaforma Sistema Formativa Moda, which is a consortium of Italian fashion schools. Welcome to you, Donato.
Thank you, Alan.
Carlo, let me kick off with you and ask you, what made you decide to create an Italian education hub inside Milan Fashion Week?
Well, young designer education, future, for us this is one important pillar of Camera della Moda, and we base a lot of our activities on promoting new designers, and so this starts from education, educating new designers. Also, we established 2 years ago a round table with many human resources experts of many major fashion brands to analyze and try to find the best solution to the education problem that is involving the future of our industry. So this idea came out and we create this special event in the Fashion Week to give more visibility as possible to this matter.
Cool. And so, Carlo, if we go to the Milan Fashion Week digital platform, what will we see?
Well, it's a showcase on our fashion app. You can see the work of all the school through the work of the students. And every day you can go on the fashion hub in a special room looking what the students have been done during the last year. Also on Sunday we have the closing event, Milano Moda Graduate Project, where the finalist students will show their job and will be judged by an international jury.
And Donato Medici, it looks like this is a great opportunity for fresh fashion graduates to showcase their work. I mean, it's such a prestigious context. What can we expect from this digital edition of Fashion Graduate Italia?
I would say, well, yes, it's a really a fantastic opportunity, and I have to say thanks also to Camera Nazionale della Moda. And I think that we will give a new flavor or some fresh flavor, showcasing basically many of our students throughout the different schools in around something. We will present more or less like 60 to 70 students, and we will show their collection together also with a small video developed by each school, showing a little bit their character and what they want to express in the fashion arena.
I have a question for both of you. When you think about fashion schools, the first names that come to mind are often Central St. Martin's or Royal College of Art in London, or Parsons or FIT in New York. At the same time, a large number of incredibly talented designers and professionals working in the industry all over the world are graduates of Italian fashion schools. And yet, Italian fashion schools don't get mentioned in the same breath as St. Martin's. How would you explain that?
Well, if I can say, I think that is simply because we have more recent roots. We started lately to be very organized in the fashion schools. So it's just a question of time. But on our side, we have something very important because our schools are very related with the industry. So our students have the possibilities to really experience everything what's happening in the real world of the industry, production, distribution, creation. So I believe that more and more Italian schools are becoming important, and we will see that those schools will become more and more relevant. They are already very relevant in the market. Another important story is that we have to be more as a system, more together. When we are single school, sometimes the single school doesn't have the same strong communication outside the country. When it's the whole system, when it's many schools together, I think this works very much better.
Is that the story, Donato? Strength through unity?
Yes, I have to say I pretty agree. To be honest, when you mentioned those four names, I like also, I think that we could add another couple coming from Italy that are becoming more and more important. But apart the single school, I think that the whole system, the fashion education is really growing. We did a survey also about 1 year ago. And I have to say that in Europe, the fashion education in Italy is the fastest growing market across the whole European countries. So that I think that is in line with what also Carlo is saying, is that, we started a little bit behind. We are running. We are a little bit back, but we are catching up. And I think that in the near future, I have to say that many and more international students will be attracted inside Italy.
With Italy's centuries of tradition, craftsmanship, and culture, why not bring that together with 21st century fashion schools? Let me ask you another thing, Donato. Times are pretty challenging for education. I mean, even if we're trying to get back to normal or a new normal or a post-COVID normal, but it's not about COVID. The pandemic really accelerated a lot of other trends that were already going forward, like digitalization. Here's my question, Donato. To what extent can a fashion school become digital?
I would say that I would separate digital in two words and in two sides. Basically, one side is the digital education. If can fashion be taught throughout an online course or 100% digital and through a digital platform? I have to be quite honest. I mean, I'm not a big believer of this kind of solution, especially because let me say that the value added of fashion is really the man craft, the fact of putting your hands inside and touching, textiles and developing outfits. On the other side, digital in fashion is becoming more and more important. I mean, the expression of fashion through digital tools is something that is becoming key also for the future. So from that point of view, we need to be clever and understand where the society is going and addressing by putting inside our courses more and more digital features across fashion.
I have an even tougher question for you, Donato. What can we do to help the young talents who are finding that life is so hard and the opportunities are so few because of COVID?
It's not an easy job. It's not an easy job. COVID is one side, but I think the whole fashion world is becoming more demanding for new students. I mean, our goal and our task is to develop the skills of our students, probably from the past where we were quite a silos. So basically we were teaching students to be fashion designer, fashion stylist, or fashion business, or be specialized in accessories and so on. I think more and more now we need to open their minds. They need to be specialized, but they need also to understand how to live and integrate themselves in a complex world where they need to talk with marketing, digital, supply chain, and so I would say also finance. So therefore, these kind of skills, and we always have 3 years, the undergraduate is not, you cannot expand it in 5 years or 4 years. So we need to be clever to provide these kind of skills in the future.
And finally, my last question for both of you, briefly, in a few words, starting with Carlo. What characteristics, Carlo, should the fashion designer of the future have to be able to cope with this rapidly changing industry?
I believe most important would be to be visionary, communicative, and digital, and for sure as a start. But to really approach the future, you have to have a strong sense of social and responsibility. You have to understand very much about sustainable ambient. You have to be inclusive, respect diversity. So I think that the real fashion of the future require those specific skills from designers, because otherwise we don't talk about future.
So Donato, would you agree sustainability? In fact, can you teach sustainability in fashion school?
I would say absolutely yes. No, definitely sustainability is a key, I would say nearly subject inside the fashion, content that we will deliver. And more, the concept of sustainability is inside our courses and the programs. The second piece of sustainability is among our students. I mean, it's the key, and I would say the most important aspects that students ask when they come and they start an experience in a university. So definitely we need to sustain sustainability, I would say.
Great to talk to both of you, Carlo and Donato, and great that you're doing this important initiative with the Piattaforma Sistema Formativa Moda. with Milano Moda Graduate and with the Italian Education Hub. So thank you again for your time, gentlemen.
Thanks.
Thank you.